The first dish I want to make is the chicken terrine. A terrine refers to the mold that you bake it in. Classically, French terrines were baked in ceramic oval or long molds. In this case, I'm using a loaf pan. What I start with is called a panada, and that's a fancy term for diced up bread cubes soaked in a bit of cream and a bit of egg white. A third of a cup of whipping cream. The whipping cream adds richness and moisture to the terrine, and then I add 2 egg whites. The egg white, being pure protein, sets the terrine so it's easy to slice and has a nice silky texture at the same time. I'll just give this a stir, and now I have to let it sit to let the cream and the egg whites soak into the bread. Part of the character of a terrine that sets it apart from just a pâté is that when you slice it, the terrine itself should be visually appealing. So I'm going to dice up some dried apricot, and I'll put about 3 tablespoons of the orange liqueur on top. That orange liqueur will permeate and infuse into the terrine as it bakes in the oven. So I'll set both that aside, let the bread sit. And I'm using ground chicken as the base for the terrine. It's mild, it's neutral, so it'll be about the combination of the other flavors that should tie into the wine. Add a tablespoon of celery salt to add flavor. And half a teaspoon of black pepper. A little fresh orange zest. And then fresh ginger. I wonder if anyone will pick up on that in the terrine. So even though the chicken is ground, I want to create a nice fine, delicate texture, so I'll puree it. And now, the bread mixture, the panada, has soaked. And I can tell it's ready because as I stir it, the actual breadcrumbs start breaking down, which is what I needed to do within the terrine itself. So it's quite smooth, and this is one of those great make-ahead dishes because it freezes well. And I didn't want to puree in the apricots or the pecans because then I would lose their visual presence within the terrine, and about half a cup of pecan halves. So now it's time to assemble. I've got a standard loaf pan, and I've lined all sides with parchment, that way it's easy to lift out. And for visual appearance and flavor as well, I like to line the outside of the terrine with prosciutto. Because I'm just baking it in a dry oven, keep it from browning on the outside. The prosciutto is tasty, but it also protects the terrine as it cooks. I'll just scrape the chicken mixture in, get it into the corners. And now I take the prosciutto and fold it over. There, doesn't that look so pretty? I'll protect the top of the terrine too with a sheet of parchment, and then cover the top with foil. In case any juices do leak out, I'll put it on a baking tray, and I've preheated my oven to 325. And to ensure that I cook the terrine all the way through, because it's chicken, I want to cook it to 165. I'll set my probe to that right in the center of the terrine. I'll plug this in to get to the oven. And then it'll take about 50 minutes, so I'm slow cooking it at 325. That way I'm not developing a crust on the outside. Ensure that it cooks through. In and set it. And while that's in the oven, I'll work on my onion marmalade to go with it and the sauce to go with my other dish I'm serving.